episode of the GOAT Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Neander, back with you for another great episode. It's a beautiful day. We're, I think, 9 days away from professional football starting, the NFL. Man, oh, such a good feeling, such a good feeling. That's why I wore my special Thundercat shirt. I feel like I want to shoot freaking something out of my chest like a freaking superhero. But I really do, really am psyched for football. If you can't tell, definitely ready to go here. So I'm trying to calm myself down a little bit, bring it down just a bit. There we go. There we go. Let's bring it back down just a little bit. All right, folks. Now, if you've been following along with the podcast for the last few days, we are in the middle of a 12-part series. So basically, we're doing a draft prep series, mock draft preps. We're doing one draft from every single position, 1 through 12. So if you can count along with me, we've done 1, 2, 3, and 4 already. So that's going to bring us to pick number 5. Now, pick number 5 is pretty interesting if you're doing some mock drafts. A lot of people have the top 4 as rather consensus. McCaffrey, Barkley, Zeke, and Kamara in some way, shape, or form, in some order. Now, number 5 is where you start to see deviation, especially in PPR, because Michael Thomas really starts to come into play at this number 5 pick. So you're starting to see that. You're also starting to see, some different selections at running back, right? Dalvin Cook is very popular there. You're seeing some Derrick Henry. You're going to see some Clyde Edwards-Helaire now. So, you're seeing some different guys go into that area. And, you're going to have some decisions to make. That's just the truth. So, all right. We got our draft started here. Let's go to the draft board. Yeah, so, like I said, nothing unexpected here. The same 4 guys I just mentioned. McCaffrey, Barkley, Kamara, Elliott just went off the board. Now, so that leaves us with the decision. Are we going running back? Are we going wide receiver? I think, if you guaranteed me Michael Thomas would have 140-plus catches again in PPR, I'd take him. But at this point, when it comes back to me, I just can't have my RB1 be the running back 15 or 16, right? If I'm in this range and it comes back to me and, Aaron Jones would probably be the last guy I'd be like, barely okay with being my number 1. But I'm not sure. So, the question is here, I think I'm definitely going to go with running back. Is it Dalvin Cook? Is it Derrick Henry? Is it Clyde Edwards-Helaire? For me, those are the 3 guys at this spot I would be considering. Derrick Henry, I'm out on because I think we saw him at his absolute ceiling last year. I don't think he has a high likelihood of repeating it. And in PPR, I just think that Dalvin Cook and especially Clyde Edwards-Helaire can have higher upside. I'm struggling with this pick here. I think because of the offense, I'm going to go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I want a piece of this extremely high-powered offense, and at 5, that's the earliest I'm willing to go with Edwards-Helaire. So, all right. So we have a bunch of other guys that went. McCaffrey, Barkley, we already know those guys went. Go to our draft board here. Okay, so we had a little run. Oh, man, this is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I hope this happens in any of my real-life drafts. But, so Dalvin Cook goes to pick after me, then Michael Thomas. A bunch of other guys that we expect to go, the running backs, the wide receivers, mid-second round, Travis Kelce, as you see at the 206, which is right around where he's going. Now, the big name that you don't see here that's been going in the late first round pretty often is Kenyon Drake. And that's a guy that I am willing to take at the 11-12 pick. I'd rather get him in the early second, but splitting hairs there at the 2.1 or the 112. But to go to the 2.08, let's look at our cheat sheets. You've got Kenyon Drake there at 11. And then Gurley, Carson, Connor. Getting Drake here really allows me to start focusing on high-end, wide receivers and maybe tight end as we go forward. And it's difficult to take Kenyon Drake over Chris Godwin. I love Chris Godwin, but I got to go Kenyon Drake here. It's a guy that's been going in the first and get him near the back half of the second. I think the potential value is too high. All right, so there go the picks that I expected to go. Both quarterbacks went. Mahomes, near the end of the second. Lamar Jackson at the turn. Kittle at the turn. This is twice in a row now. If you watched episode 4, You saw McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Lamar Jackson at that turn. Or I think it might have been Mahomes at that turn last time. But you see that number one team shy away from running back once they have the advantage that is Christian McCaffrey. Then they go ahead and shy away from that. So, you know. Now, I've got another interesting decision to make here. Luckily, Chris Carson didn't make it back. If Chris Carson made it back, it probably would have been hard for me to go any other way at this point. I'm going to go a little different. Let's look at my wide receiver rankings here. I want to make sure I'm going, by the book, as they say. See who my next highest wide receiver is that's showing up here. Because we see DJ Moore. I have DJ Moore at 14. That's all good and well. Calvin Ridley, I have a spot above him. I might be able to wait around and get Ridley, though. I have Juju above both of them at number 9. So I don't know. I went with Juju on the last draft. I know they have DJ Moore at 9. Where do I have Evans? I have Evans down there. Thielen at 16. Man, I just can't do it. I want to be true to my rankings here. So I'm going to go with James Conner here. I'm going to go with James Conner. I have him as a possible top 10 running back. And when I look at the construction of my team right now, because I know it's a deep draft in wide receiver. We've been talking about this all offseason. Huge wide receiver run all the way around my pick. I'm okay with that. Got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kenyon Drake, James Conner. Let's look at my running back rankings. Right now I have James Conner as my number 7, Kenyon Drake as my number 8, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire as my number 12. So with my first 3 picks, I've locked up 3 guys that I have as top 12 running backs, and I just couldn't pass up that opportunity. Again, that is the ultimate trust your rankings move. And hey, let's see where it winds me up with wide receiver. Obviously, we got to go to wide receiver now. We waited. Love some of these guys. Oh yeah, Robert Woods, AJ Brown. I'd love to get both of them. Oh, dream come true. Tyler Lockett. A lot of these guys that I love. Devontae Parker. These guys were in my top 12. Let's go back to my wide receiver rankings here really quickly. So I've got Gallup at number 7, Lockett at number 8, Woods at number 10, and Brown at 11, and Parker at 12. There are 5 guys that are in my top 12 wide receivers that are still on this board. That's pretty crazy. So Robert Woods at number 10. I think I'm going to go Robert Woods. And I'm really hoping any of these guys that come back to me, I'm going to be thrilled. Any of these guys come back to me, I'm going to be thrilled. Sutton's gone. Oh, they all went except for Gallup. But the rest of the guys went. So let's see any other highlights. I got a little excited there. Both of the other tight ends went in the 4th round as they have been. Ertz went ahead of Andrews here for the first time in a little while. Andrews been going in the 3rd, but he went in the 4th here. But both tight ends, in the early 4th. Then a whole bunch of wide receivers. We know that's going to happen in the 3rd and the 4th. That's the slingshot effect, right? Get all the running backs early, and there's so many great wide receivers left that they all start going in the 3rd and 4th. And into the 5th. So after I picked Robert Woods, David Johnson went, and then Courtland Sutton, Raheem Mostert, Leonard Fournette, and then boom, to start the 5th round, A.J. Brown, Tyler Lockett, D.K. Metcalf, Devontae Parker, a bunch of my great guys that I love there, right? So, I'm still not looking, there's only 2 quarterbacks gone. I'm not looking yet. Look at my draft board. I know I want to get one of these guys in the 6th round if I can. So I'm going to wait, see who falls. But for now, I'm looking wide receiver. There's not even a question in my mind. So I'm looking at the board. There's a lot of good ones available. The guy I want is Michael Gallup. And he's a little bit further down in these rankings than some of these guys, but we all know he's not in mine. Michael Gallup's my guy, my number 7 PPR wide receiver, and I'm not going to let him go one more round. Too many picks. Okay, so Evan Ingram in the late 5th as the 5th tight end off the board. I get the upside, but you guys know I'm not a fan of that pick. No big surprises here. The 5th round guys, the 6th round guys. You're starting to see that second group of quarterbacks go now. Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott. Russell Wilson is still here, and that's what I might do in my draft. Let me, I got a really bad grade this last one. I went Russell Wilson. I'm not happy with my bad grade. So let's see what we have here. We have 5 players. We have 3 running backs. We have 2 wide receivers. I don't think I love Kareem Hunt. I really like DeAndre Swift, but Ronald Jones is still there. I like all those guys, right? So I can wait. Ooh, Marquise Brown is a huge, breakout candidate for me too. Yeah, that's gonna be my pick. Marquise Hollywood Brown. Listen, he had some injuries he was shaking off last year. He wasn't fully healthy. He wasn't on the field that much, and they weren't throwing the ball that much. And he was still extremely, extremely productive. I think he's going to be a touchdown kind of guy, a big play kind of a guy, medium to medium high volume. Let's take a look at where I have Mr. Marquise Brown. I've got Marquise Brown for 70 receptions this year on 110 targets, 980 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Very, very respectable season. And I'd be happy if he returns that in the 6th round. So, all right, Evan Ingram, Darren Waller was the only tight end that went, and really no running backs are going right now, right? So not a lot of people are into these running backs. In the last round and a half, only Cam Akers and Tariq Cohen have come off the board. Might be time for me to look back at running back. Let's see who we have. All right. At quarterback, in case we're looking, Josh Allen, who's falling a lot lately. Wentz, Breeze, Brady. So the older guys are actually lasting a little bit longer than they did in these last couple of drafts. Kareem Hunt. Ooh, I like that pick. Jamison Crowder. We're going to go back and we're going to go Kareem Hunt. The guy, he's going to get touches every week. We don't know how much he's going to play in the slot or lined up out wide or in 2 running back sets. And then the obvious, as an insurance policy, if Chubb goes down, Hunt is, probably a top 5 running back. So we're going to go ahead and get Kareem Hunt here, go back to the running back well. Going to go with a little bit more of my traditional strategy of waiting deep on quarterback and tight end and see what we wind up with here. So, all right, we pick Kareem Hunt, and then some of those quarterbacks I mentioned start going off the board. Drew Brees, Josh Allen, Carson Wentz, which means that Mr. Brady is still there, and I might think about. No more tight ends went off the board, so here in the 8th round, we're still seeing, at this point, only 6 tight ends off the board. Hunter Henry, Tyler Higbee, Hayden Hurst still there. I like all these guys. I'm going to wind up with either Gesicki or Hawkinson. That's going to be the plan. Even maybe Jarwin. So I'm going to wait. Brady, Stafford, Rodgers, Jones. The question is, do I want to swing on Brady here? Right? Brady, what's the odds I think that he could be, a legit top 6 option at quarterback? And I think it's possible with the touchdowns, right? He could throw 40 touchdowns, and I'm not calling for that, right? Let's look at my rankings here. I've got Brady as my QB 11, throwing 4,300 yards and 32 touchdowns. I'm not expecting him to have some amazing season. So right now this would be 11th quarterback off the board. It would be true to my rankings. So I'm okay with that. I actually have Stafford ranked above him though. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers. Right now I have Aaron Rodgers at 8, but I know that's going to come down. I've got to adjust these. I haven't heard anything out of camp that makes me want to keep him there. So, all right, where are we going to go? We are going to go with Tom Brady. We are. I think I want a little bit of upside here. I want a good grade. I'm a little bit butthurt after that last one. That's how it's going to go. All right. Some wide receivers go. Some backup running backs. Some high upside guys. Antonio Gibson, Darius Slayton, Tyler Higbee. All right. So, what do we need here? We've got running backs, don't we? We've got 3. We've got 4 running backs already. We've got 3 wide receivers. Need a tight end. All right, it's really open. It's open to us. Whatever we want to do, best player available, we can definitely go for. Going the wrong way. All right. Anthony Miller, I'd already mentioned a couple of times. Jerry Jeudy, I really like. High upside. Jalen Reagor, he would have been a pick here, obviously, but with the injury, I'm worried. They're stacked with all these guys. All these guys with, different narratives, right? Different upside, different stories why they could be good, why they might not be good. I can still wait, get Hawkinson, coming back, I'm pretty sure. So, I think I'm going to go with a high upside wide receiver here. And I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy. Yep, I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy here. I think he has a chance to be the best rookie wide receiver, for the rookie season. He definitely might be the best He might be the best rookie wide receiver, when all is said and done. As far as his career goes, that'll be a long ways away. But for this season, there are other guys that have maybe clearer paths to more targets. But I think the talent and the offense. If the offense takes a step forward, people think it could. Then that might work out for them. So, all right, looks like some tight ends went. Gronk and Hunter Henry. They have my guy there, Hayden Hurst. They have my guy. Let's see. Oh, no, we're back up here. Okay. Got Hayden Hurst. I don't know. I can wait. Let's look at these running backs. Look at some high upside running backs here. I like some of these guys. Zach Moss is a big pick. I'm going Zach Moss. I think that the narrative of the goal line touches, those Gore touches, plus maybe some of the Josh Allen touchdowns going to Moss is very real. I'm worried for Devin Singletary, and I think it's very possible that Zach Moss vultures a good, decent chunk of those. All right, Hayden Hurst, Austin Hooper go directly after me. Might be time to stop messing around here. There's only 3 rounds left. I've got some good upside. I've got 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers. Or I got 5 running backs now, 4 wide receivers. So I can find wide receivers I love in the next 2 rounds. Where can I get? Can I wait and get Hawkinson? Can I wait a long time? I can get Gesicki. I don't want to wait. Someone else is going to take a backup tight end here, a high upside backup tight end. So I went with Hawkinson. And here go all the guys that are, the high upside guys, right? Raquel Armstead, Chase Edmonds, Latavius Murray, Tony Pollard, Alexander Madison, all the insurance policy guys, A.J. Dillon. So, and then quarterbacks start going here. The rest of them, Tua, that's an odd pick in the 12th round. It is his number 2 quarterback, but still Tua is an odd pick. You don't have to draft him. Cam Newton, Matthew Stafford, Brandon Ayuk, Mecole Hardman, some guys that I like. Do I want a backup quarterback? Or a backup tight end, I really don't know. Gesicki, I'm going to wait. If Gesicki's there in the last round or Fant, I'll grab them. Or Jarwin as my backup tight end. I'm going to go with the highest upside player I can find. Chris Thompson is sneaky. I like Alan Lazard. I do. The number 2 in Green Bay. No reason not to think that he's not going to be the guy that Rodgers looks to when he's not looking to Devontae Adams. All right, and we're going to try to get Blake Jarwin here at the end. So, yep, Doyle, Goddard, Big Ben, so no Fant. Yeah, I'm going to go with the backup tight end, and then we're going to see what my score is. Better be better than 85 this time. I don't have to draft Jarwin, though, do I? Are they going to give me a bad score because I drafted my guy that I like? They probably are, aren't they? All right, who did I just go with? Just went with Lazard. Is Stafford gone? Yeah, Stafford's gone. I don't need a backup quarterback. Paris Campbell. I like Paris Campbell a lot as a wild card. I like Josh Kelly. Let's just make this pick and get our stinking grade, huh? All right. Okay, I'm going to game the system. No, all right. Let's pick someone I like. Let's be real. All right. Paris Campbell. We know I like Paris Campbell. All right. All right, that was my last pick, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I am getting torched right now. My first 3 were great. What happened here? All of a sudden, they are not liking my decisions at all. Well, all right, so overall, let's go over this, because overall, I did get an A- from Mike Tagliere, as far as from his rankings go, and Dan Harrison, 88, Kyle Yates, very low at 83. It's the Hawk. It's the Hawkinson. That's what it is. I think that keeps pulling me down and then reaching for Michael Gallup. So let's look at this team here. Tom Brady's my quarterback. My running backs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kenyon Drake, James Conner, Kareem Hunt, and Zach Moss. All right, that's A+. That's A+ right there. Robert Woods, Michael Gallup, Marquise Brown, Jerry Jeudy, and Alan Lazard. Listen, I really like that team. You got to be a believer because, again, I think Gallup is top 12. And a lot of people don't have him near that. They have him, in the 20 range. But that's still wide receiver 2. Marquise Brown I have as a high upside guy. Jerry Jeudy, maybe, I reached for him. I don't know. But Lazard and Campbell are both high upside guys. That's a little weird to me. So Hawkinson, all right. Let's go to the projected standing and see where they have me scoring. Overall, once again, the number 6 team. Ooh. The 11th ranked starters, based on expert consensus rankings. Now, again, this is where it comes into saying, I like my guys. Once again, look, I was number 2 in the last one. I'm number 1 this time on my bench scoring. All right. So let's just talk about what that means. Your bench scoring is your depth. Those are your what ifs. Those are your bye weeks, your injuries, all that stuff. So, the fact that I'm consistently scoring right near the top or at the top for bench scoring is, for me, a positive sign. Again, this is all based on algorithms and expert consensus rankings, but, I like the fact that I'm scoring well on them. I think it's a positive thing. And I think that at the end of the day, what's happening here is that I like the guys that I like, right? I mean, there's a lot of these players, these running backs, these wide receivers. I think James Conner could be top 10. A lot of those guys are just guys that I'm a lot higher on than the industry, and that's always going to skew, these mock drafts. If we want to mess around, maybe on the next one, I'll say, I'm going to try to get just the highest ranking I can, and see what happens. But I don't know. The whole point of this is for you to see my advice. So let's scratch that, okay? All right. So we're going to scratch that. That's going to do it for us. Listen, that was episode 5. So make sure you're watching all of them. Again, they're pretty quick episodes. Not hard to watch them all. Or, again, if you know exactly where you're drafting in your draft, go ahead and find the episode that you need. Get an idea of some guys you want to target in each of those rounds. It really helps. You don't want to tilt when the picks come to you. All of a sudden, a round before. All right, let's say the 5th round comes and you're saying, all right, I got these 3 guys in mind. I like Will Fuller and I like, Marlon Mack and I like these guys. And they all get scooped up. And then all of a sudden you're looking at, 15 different players and you don't know which one you like. It's a hard position to be in. So make sure you're following the show. You can watch us, of course, watch all the episodes on YouTube, always available there. And now you can listen to all of our episodes on the major podcast platforms. You can listen to us on, Google Podcasts and Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, all that good stuff. So just go ahead and search out the GOAT Fantasy Football Podcast. Reach out to me if you want on Twitter, at Jim Neander, at GOAT Fantasy Football Podcast. None of that is correct. Listen to me, people. It's at Jim Neander or at GOAT FF Podcast. At GOAT FF Podcast to find us on Twitter. All right, now that we got that straightened out, that's going to do it for today's episode. So, thank you very much for joining us. Have a great, great day. We will be talking to you soon. Make sure you join us for part 6 and beyond. All right, have a good one.